Alright, so what does your Rainbow Six Siege operator say about you? Starting at the bottom, moving our way up to the top. Probably not going to get through all of them today because I'm not going to sit here and talk about this for 30 minutes. And I don't like having that big of stuff on my computer, so it just takes up too much space. So we are going to start at the bottom, and we'll see how far along we get. Starting with, let's start with the OG Glaz, okay? I haven't really been playing a lot of Siege recently, so some of these might be off. But this is what I'm going to say, okay? If you play Glaz, you're one of two things, okay? You're either disgusting with your aim, right? And I've always played Glaz, and even though Calais came out, you still like to have a little bit better shooting power, because at the end of the day, if you hit them in the head, it doesn't matter. They're going to die. And you have really disgusting aim, and you just like to walk around and beam kids with a sniper because it feels good, you know? You want to play Rainbow Six Siege, but low-key, you're kind of playing Call of Duty, and you're just really good at the game. Or, you're absolutely terrible at the game, don't know what that is. You're absolutely terrible at the game. You have absolutely no idea what you're doing, and you just run around popping smokes up everywhere, camping in the smoke, and hoping to God that you can at least get one kill before the game's over. That's what that one says about you. On to what the heck just happened. Okay, Tachanka. All right, okay. Back in the day, okay, let's just be honest. If you play Tachanka, now, it's a little different than what it used to be. Used to be, you were either all for the game or you just liked to meme, okay? Now, it's kind of, you're either memeing because it is Tachanka, or you're low-key kind of good at the game, and you know the certain situations where his flames can be used, and you use them properly. That's pretty much Tachanka. It used to be a lot more interesting. Now, he's not Lord Tachanka anymore. He's just not. He's not the same. Kapkan. Okay, Kapkan, you are either okay at the game, like you're moderately good, and you just like to put these up to try and get free kills, or you're pretty good at the game. You may not have the greatest aim of all time, you may not be the most disgusting player ever, but you have good game sense, you know where to put your Kapkan traps, and you get good value out of them. That's Kapkan for you. Moving forward, Fuse. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be straight up honest with you. Okay, if you play Fuse, you're ass. You were terrible at the game. If you play Fuse, you're awful. Okay, and this is coming from experience because this was the first ever operator that I bought in the game. Okay, because I used to play back in Recruit was what you started off with, and you had to buy operators. This was the first person I bought. Okay, because I got killed by it in like my second game through a wall, and I said, "Oh my God, he is the greatest thing of all time." If you play Fuse, you're terrible. Okay, his fuses. They're very, very questionable. They're useful in very few situations because a lot, like now, I mean, okay, I guess now that you can go through reinforced walls, they're a little better. But I mean, you have to have good team chemistry because you're not really ever going to get a kill with it unless you're just like copper or iron or cardboard or something, okay? You're not getting kills with it. So it's just good to move them around, get people out of their little crevices, but you're not going to shoot them. Your teammates are the ones who are probably going to shoot them in most of those situations, and they got to be holding the right angles. So he's really only good if you have good teammates, and most of the people who play this guy don't have good teammates. So at the end of the day, you're just a guy who likes to walk around Fuse walls and pray to God that you get a kill, and then you kill the hostage. That's what Fuse is. IQ, nobody really plays this operator, so if you play him, most of the people that I see play IQ are pretty decent at the game. But some people, it's either you're decent at the game and you know when to use her and you know how to use her, or you're a complete noob and you don't know where the cams are and you've at least figured out that, hey, this bitch can show me where cams are. So there's IQ for you. Blitz, if you play Blitz, you're just a jerk, okay? You're just an asshole. That's just the bottom line, because at the end of the day, Blitz, you're just running around like a freight train flashing kids. You're just not great. You're not great. You're just a mean person. Nobody likes you. You don't like having them on your team. Because here's the thing. If they're on the defense, okay, if you're playing defense and you see Blitz picked, it is the greatest blitzer of all time. Okay, he runs through. He flashes the crap out of the whole team. He starts popping shots at kids' heads. The best player to exist on the face of the earth, okay? It's like Shroud is playing Blitz, all right? But if he's on your team, he runs in and immediately dies. That's Blitz for you, okay? You don't get any value out of him. I swear, he's only good if he's on the attacking team and you're playing defense. That is the only time he's good. If he's on your team, he is the worst player to ever exist. Bottom line. Moving forward, moving right along. Bandit, obviously a dub operator, good in a lot of situations. You can be bad at the game, and as long as you have a little bit of knowledge, you can play Bandit and at least still be okay. I'm gonna be honest, most of the kids I see play Bandit because for some reason it's like the noobs don't think he's good. They're like, oh, I put it on barbed wire. Oh, I put it on this wall. Whatever. No, the noobs don't really play Bandit. Okay, if you play Bandit, you run around with his MP7 and you just beam kids. Like I'm talking like that gun can shoot at extremely fast and has like 30 bullets. Doesn't matter. You pop 2 shots, you hit them in the face, and they're dead. Most Bandit players are nasty for whatever reason. Moving forward, Jaeger. Most Jaeger players are nasty too. Now, every now and then you'll get a noob who starts putting his defense systems in like the dumbest place ever. Don't know why, but for the most part, Jaegers are pretty nasty with it. And if a guy's playing Jaeger, you better watch out because a lot of times Jaeger's nasty. Jaeger and Bandit, if they have a Jaeger and a Bandit, they're nasty. It's just how they are. Rook, you're either somebody who doesn't know much about the game, like you're not great at game sense, you're not great at figuring out where people are, but you can aim pretty well and you like to just hold down the objective and shoot, or you're a complete noob, have no idea what you're doing, and you just like the idea of getting 10 points or whatever it is every time somebody puts on Rook armor so that you can not be bottom on the leaderboard when you drop 2 kills a game. Doc, you're selfish and you like to sit in the objective, take 2 shots, and heal yourself. You won't heal your teammates, and if you attempt to, you're going to miss your shot. So you're either the run out god or you're just the most selfish player ever, and you get Doc so that you don't die. Bottom line. Moving forward, Twitch. You're either really, 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 really disgusting and really, 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 really good at the game, or you're just somebody who is just picking an operator. But a lot of times they're pretty freaking good. Montaigne, awful at the game, biggest noob in the world. You walk around, you just like the idea of being the last one to die. You like getting C4'd. You're just terrible. I'm just gonna say it. Thermite, you're either the best player in the world or you're terrible, and most of the time you're terrible. For whatever reason, the guy who gets Thermite always gets the bomb. Let's just start with that, okay? And not only do you get the bomb, but you don't go for the objective, okay? And Lord forbid you're the guy playing Thermite when we're playing Bank or freaking what's it called, Chalet, okay? Because you're not you're not going to the freaking garage. No. Why the hell would you take Thermite to the garage? You're going in from like the top floor and working your way down. Because why would Thermite ever blow a hole in the garage? I don't know why he would. Because you're not the one who's doing it. Moving on. Pulse, I don't know. If you get Pulse, I never see you, right? A guy will pick Pulse and you'll be gone. Gone. Like, never to be seen again. I see you die in the kill feed. Usually, middle of the tier, you get a kill here and there. You do all right. But for the most part, like, I just don't see much out of Pulse players. They're just, like, there, but they're not. Like, I don't know what to say, unless you're Jinxie, But that's the only... Castle, oh my dear God. You are the worst player to exist. You barricade people into the objective. Like, just, dude, you don't barricade the objective, okay? You barricade around it, right? You don't barricade the room. You barricade rooms around it, okay? You keep them from getting to the bomb. You make us know where they're at. You keep us people protect. But, like, gosh, I don't know. Every now and then you'll get a good castle, but for the most part, they're awful. They have no idea what they're doing, and you're gonna be playing Ela, you're gonna be playing Cavi, and you're gonna be trying to get out of the objective, and they're just barricading you in repeatedly. Like, no, stop. Oh, Ash. Okay, you're either a wannabe sweat. You got TTV in your name. You're a Twitch streamer. You're a wannabe Twitch streamer, wannabe sweat. You want a top frag. You want people to think you're good at the game. You run inside and you drop, middle of the pack kills. You die first every time. You're just okay at the game. Or you're somebody who could give 2 craps about the game. That you're disgusting. Let's just start off with that. Okay, your aim is ridiculous. All right, your game sense is pretty good, and you just want to run around and kill kids, all right? And you don't really care about your rank at the moment. You're just vibing, chilling. You probably have music playing. You probably have the sound turned off in the game, but it doesn't matter because you just outskill people, okay? So you're either a TTV Twitch streamer who's a wannabe god, or you're literally the best player in the game every time you queue up. And there's a very fine line, and there's no in between, okay? It's either you are a god or you're not. That's Ash. Thatcher, Usually Thatchers are pretty good. You're not the greatest aimer, but you usually have pretty good aim sense. You know what you're doing. You usually use your Thatcher things pretty well. Because noobs don't really understand what's going on with him, and they think it's kind of lame, so they don't play him. So most of the time, when you get a Thatcher, they're not going to be like the greatest player in the world, or if they are, they don't really ever show it because they're just kind of vibing, chilling, holding their angles, playing slow, playing good, droning it out. So usually, when you get a Thatcher on your team, you can be, sure that they're decent. They might sell, they might not kill many people, but they usually know what they're doing and they can hold their own. Smokes, either the best player in the world and you're going to clutch every 1v5 you ever get into, or you're going to start smoking out your own teammates and killing them. There's no in between. That's just what you are. So it's hit or miss with Smoke. It really is. Kind of the same way with Sledge, hit or miss. You're either somebody who knows exactly what they're doing. They know how to breach, holes into the soft walls. They know how to make the other team feel suffocated. They know how to rotate. They know what they're doing with Sledge. Or you're just some kid who thought it would be fun to run around with a sledgehammer and you just start sledging everything in sight and you get yourself killed because you let the enemy team know where you are as soon as you get into the building. And yeah, there's no in between with him either. Mute. Usually solid players for the most part. Every now and then you'll get one who has no idea what he's doing, just because he's one of the first operators. But for the most part, mutes are usually pretty good. They're pretty solid, pretty good players. But yeah, not much to say. They're usually pretty good. Frost. You're either somebody who's not great at the game, but you can kind of sort of hold your own, and you use Frost mats to kind of help you get kills, or you're pretty nasty with it, and you use your Frost mats the way they're supposed to be used, and you're pretty freaking good. So usually Frosts are, pretty good, usually. Buck used to be the nastiest player in the world. If you played Buck, he used to be the most disgusting person on the earth. But now Buck's kind of average. If a guy's playing Buck, a lot of times they just like the idea of having a shotgun, and they like to run around corners with shotguns, underbarrel stuff. But every now and then, it's either like it's kind of 50-50. You're either going to get somebody who's just okay at the game and likes playing Buck, or you're going to get somebody who used to play Buck back in the OG days, and they know what they're doing. And even though he's not as good as he used to be, they can still make him be pretty good. They're not bad with him. But it's just hard without his frags. It just is. Valkyrie, you either have no idea what you're doing and you're just throwing cams up to throw cams up, and you think it's cool to throw up cams, and you're like, oh my gosh, I can see an angle I could have never seen before with my cams, but it gets shot as soon as they come around the wall or come around the corner because it's the most obvious cam ever, and you ping every single person that you see. Like, they put in yellow pings. You don't have to ping them now. Like, you don't actually have to scan them, but you scan them every time. So obviously, it gets found. Or you're pretty good with it, you're pretty nasty with it, and you have good cam areas, you know what you're doing with her. Or you are the run out champion and you know exactly where to throw the cameras out. And as soon as the round starts, you're standing by a window that you've hit twice and you figure out where they're at, you jump out and you kill one or two. You die most of the time, but hey, you give us a good advantage. And I like it. Moving on. Blackbeard. Absolute noob. Absolute noob. You're tired of getting brained, you're tired of getting shot in the head, so you think, okay, I'm going to throw on this thing and I'm going to give myself a couple extra seconds to shoot at them. Because I'm not going to die immediately. And you were absolutely terrible at the game. You're either a noob or you low-key know what you're doing, but your aim is atrocious. Usually. Used to, you were better. Since the nerf, all the people who used to play them don't play them anymore, so now the only people that play them are the trash cans. Capiteo, you don't really see this guy picked much, but usually when he's picked, he's kind of gas. Usually. Every now and then you get somebody who just wants to run around and flame crap up, but most of the time if he gets picked, he's a pretty solid pick, not going to lie. He's pretty good. Alright, Caveira. I don't really know what to say about this one. Because there's so many possibilities, but I'd say the main two are you're either going to whiff every single shot with your pistol and you're just going to be a waste of a pick, or you're going to be the most demonic player on the face of the earth. Like, just absolutely disgusting. Like, you could probably 1v5 the entire game and win it by yourself, or you absolutely suck, and there's really no in between. But yeah, and then every now and then you get that person who thinks they have to interrogate every person they down, and so they always get killed interrogating. But sometimes you get a demonic person. It's just like they're freaking ridiculous. And that's just every now and then. Echo. What do I say about Echo? You either have really good aim and pretty good game sense, and you know exactly how to use your Echo drones, and you're just disgusting. or you suck. And I mean suck bad. And there's no in between. Moving right along. Hibana, usually pretty solid. Most people don't have her. Like a noob, most of the noobs don't have her because they have Thermite and they're like, why would I want to get her? There seems like a lot of other cooler people I can get. So usually Hibana is a pretty solid player. Like if you're playing Hibana, you're usually pretty solid. And you only have 20 rounds, so a lot of them have pretty solid aim because they don't sit there and spray because you only got 21 bullets in your mag, right? I think it's like 20 or 21, something like that. So usually they're pretty solid players. I'd say they're pretty solid. Jackal, I'm be honest, very mediocre players. You can get a good one every now and then. If you get a good one, they're great. Okay, they're great. But 90% of the time, it's just a kid who cannot kill anybody, and he likes the idea of being able to know where his enemies are before they know where he's at. So, I mean, mediocre, moderate players for the most part, and just from my experience, pretty mediocre. Legion, gas, absolute gas. If you're playing Legion, you're the best player in the world. Okay, you just are. You're freaking champion. You're the greatest player ever. That's all I got to say. Because Legions, if you play Legions, you're nasty. I just don't know how else to say it. Ying, you suck. You suck so bad. Like, how many times can you flash your team before you flash the enemy team? I don't know. Ela, very, very solid. Usually very solid. They're usually pretty freaking good. I'm not gonna lie. If somebody's playing Ela, they're usually pretty good. Because let's be honest, Ela, when it comes to these are not super useful. I mean they are, but like on defense, there's usually 5 players on every map for usually, not all the time, but usually there's 5 players on every map for every area that are a little more useful than Ela, like at least 5, usually more. So she's usually not the most useful defender. So the people that get her are people who have got good aim, know that they can get kills, and they're going to use her the way she's supposed to be used. Zofia, because Zofia is very similar to Ashe in a lot of ways, but she's not as fast. Like she's kind of like Ashe and I don't even know. Ashe mixed with Sledge, mixed with like I don't know, maybe like a Echo in a weird way. I don't know, but people only ever really use her charges to break walls. Like they only use the impact ammunition. Like not many people. I don't see many people take advantage of the concussion stuff. So most people that get her are just people who aren't playing Ashe. It's like Ashe got picked by the good player on the team, and they're gonna play like the slower version of Ashe. But they're usually not as good as the people who play Ashe. But yeah. Dokaibi, don't really see her picked. Usually they're just average. They're people who probably just bought her and they just want to see what she does and they like being able to call people. Because her guns are very average, her guns are just So, very average. Very average. Most of the time. But yeah. Vigil? Vigil players are usually pretty good. They're not always the greatest, but Vigil players are usually pretty good, and they're solid players, very solid. Finka, you suck so bad, but you know when to use your Finka boost. It's like I don't know. You walk around with the LMG, you're like a wannabe Fuse. It's like let me walk around with my Fuse LMG, let me spray folks, let me shoot, let me just do all this, but you somehow never die, and every time I need a Finka boost, I'll be like, hey, pop that shit. And you do it. You like you low-key kind of know what you're doing, it's just like you're not quite there yet. So I guess I was a little, I said you suck a little too quick, okay? I did. You're moderate, below average, but you're on point with the Finka boost. I'll give it to you. Lion, you're either awful or great, and there's no in between. But usually, you're kind of just you teeter on the side of being awful more than you do great, just because he got nerfed. The really really good players kind of stopped playing him. He's just kind of average now, and there's a lot more operators out there with better utility than him. So you're just kind of average, and the players who play you are just kind of below average. Alibi usually pretty gas. Every now and then you get a troll trying to like alibi troll stuff or whatever, but usually alibi players they got their shit together. Maestro, same thing with Maestro. I don't even need to click on him because Maestro is just if you play Maestro, you're usually pretty gas. You just are. Maverick, usually pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, you're usually pretty good. You usually frag pretty good. You be shooting me in holes that I didn't even hear you make. I don't understand. It's like you're a ghost. But yeah, usually not Maestro. Maverick is pretty good. Clash, you suck. You're terrible. Get off the team. You're awful. You can't aim. That's why you play Clash. You're the same person who's playing freaking Montaigne on attacking. You're just bad. You're a bad player. Okay, like Clash can be good, but the people who play Clash are not good. That's the problem. That's why Clash has got such a bad rap. Okay, Clash can be okay. Clash can be useful at certain times, but the people who play her are so bad it does not matter. So that's why she's gotten the Clash's bad rep. You know. But then people still ban her because they're scared of her. Like the people who play her are awful. Why are you banning her on ranked? Like if you ban Clash on ranked, you're bad. Okay? If you and your teammates are sitting there, dude, we gotta ban Clash, bro. Dude, Clash is good. We gotta ban Clash, dude. Clash can kill us. Like Clash, we know we should. No, no, no. Clash is easy to kill. Okay? If you know what you're doing, right? She's only good if the people around her are really good. Okay, every now and then there's a guy who plays Clash who's pretty good and he tries to turtle it and spin and stuff on you. But even then, you can usually kill him. Like, let's be real. The time it takes for them to take out the shield, there's a split second that you can shoot her in the forehead. So, usually, don't ban Clash, and usually the people who play her are terrible anyway, so why would you ban her anyway? Moving forward. Cade, usually pretty good with it. You're kind of like the guy who's not great at roaming, but wants to be bandit. It's like, I'm not the greatest roamer, but I know we need a bandit, and let's get Cade. Or it's like we have too many walls for bandit to get, so I need to get Cade. Or there's a really important hatch, so I'm gonna get Cade. And you're not the greatest roamer, so you like to kind of stay around the base. Honestly, I've seen a lot of people who play Mira play Cade for whatever reason, and maybe that's just my experience. But I've seen a lot of people who are good with Mira are good with Cade for whatever reason. And maybe it's just because a lot of people who play Mira, they're like, I need a Cade to kind of get the wall so they can't Habana my stuff. And so maybe they've just kind of been like, when somebody gets a Mira, they understand, hey, my Mira needs a Cade, so I'll get Cade. Like that kind of stuff. Maybe it's something like that. I don't know. But I see a lot of people who play Mira, they kind of flip-flop between Mira and Cade, and they're usually pretty nasty with it. Did I skip Mira? I did skip Mira. I just realized that. I'm stupid. Yeah. Mira, you're gas. You just are. You have good aim. You have good recoil control. You know what you're doing. You know where to put your mirrors down. Mira is usually a very solid player. If I'm playing against a Mira, I know, hey, they're probably pretty good. So, yeah. I think that's where I'm going to stop for now, though, because I feel like this is getting kind of a long... Wait, well, no, well... I got 3 rows left. Let's just go. Nomad! Usually pretty good. Usually pretty good players. Usually got pretty good aim. They're usually pretty solid players. Not going to lie to you. They're pretty good. Gridlock. Every now and then, you get a Gridlock who's good. But most of the time, they're bad. They crouch walk around the map, and then throw out their Gridlocks and plant the bomb. That's what they do. And they're usually pretty bad. They usually have awful aim. Bottom line. Mozzie, you're either somebody who is not great and just is like, hey, I'm going to get some utility for my team, or you're nasty. That's just what you are. Wardens are usually pretty good, but, they never use, but, I don't know. They're usually pretty good. It's just Warden doesn't do a whole lot. The people who play them usually have pretty good aim, pretty good game sense, and they get Warden because they're like, hey, if they get a Ying or something like that, I'm going to pop off. I understand all that, but, he's so situational. It's just, I don't know. Usually Wardens are just okay. The person playing them is usually good. It's just Wardens don't really offer a whole lot for the most part, but the person playing them is usually pretty good. Nook, whatever, however you want to say her name. I've heard her say it both ways. Usually they're pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. They have good aim. They know what they're doing. It's just they're kind of selfish players though. Like the people who play are usually pretty selfish. They don't push with the team. They kind of go off and do their own thing. Which I mean, I get it. It's kind of what you're supposed to do with her because if you're pushing with the team, like what good is your ability? So like I do understand that to an extent, but like I don't know. It just seems like at times when it's like, hey, okay, well the round's kind of going to shit. The plan's not working. We're kind of scrambling here. They're never there to help you. You know, they're kind of like off doing their own thing, which is kind of what they're supposed to do. So I like for the most part, I get it. Like, I'm not ever gonna be like, dude, whoa, what are you doing? Like, but like every now and then, it's like, okay, there's like 45 seconds left in the round, 30 seconds left in the round, and there's only two people alive. Why are you still not at the objective? Like, where are you? But usually they're pretty solid. Goyo, I'm not even gonna click on him. You're terrible. You just are. The people who play you are terrible. I hate to break it to you. Amaru. Either the most disgusting player alive or an absolute idiot. Like, who grapples into the objective? I just don't get it. Or you're just like somebody who's trying to meme and just trying to have fun, which, you know, that's cool and all as long as you're not doing it in the ranks. Callie, usually you're not good. Usually you're not good. You have a sniper, but you never kill anybody with it, so usually you're not good. The problem is a lot of people pick Callie on maps where you don't need to pick Callie, and it's just kind of annoying. Or you're on airplane and they have Callie, but they never kill anybody, so it's just kind of like you're just wasting time out there. But good thing is that's not a ranked map, at least not right now. I don't think. Wamai, usually pretty solid. Kind of like similar to Jaeger, like you know where to put your Wamais, you know what you're doing, you know how to play. So usually a very solid player. Ayana, very similar to Ashe players. If you play Ayana, you're usually pretty good. A lot of people who play Ashe play Ayana just because she's fast, she has frags, and she has the same gun. So a lot of people who play Ashe play Ayana, and so they're usually pretty good. Ayanas are usually pretty gas. Uh, Malus, oh, skip Oryx. Or no, not even gonna click on it. You're terrible. At least from my experience, the character can be good at times, but the people who play it are terrible. They just are. Malusi, you're usually okay. Usually pretty good players. Average, above average maybe. But you usually know where to put your Malusis. You play pretty well. You definitely help the team. Even though you may not be the greatest player, your Malusis help the team out. So you know, never upset to see one of those. Aces, they're usually pretty good. Aces are usually better than what was I gonna say? Thermites. Aces are better than Thermites for the most part. They just are. They're good players. Um, Zero. You're good, but it's just like you take too long to do everything. You're too busy checking your cams, shooting cams out. You're like always the last person alive, so it's just like when the main gunfight's going on and we're trading off kills and stuff, and like we're doing our main push. You're never there to help. You're just like too busy taking your time. Arunis are usually really good. Excuse me. For whatever reason, Arunis are usually really good. I don't know what to say. Flores, you're usually not bad, but every now and then you get a noob who thinks it's cool to drive around with a RCXD from Call of Duty and try and use it, and it's just kind of So Thunderbird, you're usually very average, maybe below average. But hey, I'm never upset to see one of these on my team because I need the heals, you know. So you heal me up, but usually the player playing you is just kind of eh. It's just a problem. Osa, either the best player in the world or the worst player in the world, and there's no in between. And this is kind of where my knowledge starts to fade out because I haven't been playing as much, so I just don't know quite as much about these people. But Thorn, from what I've seen, the very little bit I've seen, Thorns are usually okay players, but these things just demolish the team. They know what they're doing with these, but usually the players playing them are just okay. But they know that she's got good utility, so that's why they get her. This person, I don't ever see them do much. Like I see her barriers, but the person playing her is never doing a whole lot. I don't know how to explain it. They kind of camp a little too much. They use these to camp a little too much. Sin or Zins, whatever. I don't know. I'm gonna be honest. This dude. Like his ability is like every time I see it, I feel like I'm playing Valorant. I feel like I'm playing Valorant. So I don't know. Not a lot of people play him. I don't really see a lot of people play him. At least I don't. Maybe y'all do. But the people playing him, they're usually pretty good. Like they know where to put this thing up. They can pop some shots. They're usually pretty good players. People who play him, from what I've seen. Grim, I'm gonna be honest. I don't even know what the hell this dude does. Uh, okay, yeah, okay, yeah. I'm starting to remember now. Players who play this dude, shit, I don't even know. I don't know. This dude just every time I see this dude's ability, it just makes me think of Call of Duty Black Ops 3, the Hive dude. That's all I can think about. I really don't really have much to say about this dude. I haven't really seen good or bad, so I'm just gonna say solid, average. Okay, this one. For whatever reason, these people are gas. Like, I don't even know what her gadget really does that much. Like, it's just like it's her. I think her gadget's good. I've never played her. I don't ever play this chick because I'm just chilling with my own stuff because I don't play the game enough to try and learn a new operator. But the people who play this chick are usually good for whatever reason, just from my experience. And then Brava, I don't know. I hadn't been on the game in like a couple of weeks. I think she just came out. So I've never actually even seen this chick be played. What does she do? Brava's clutch drone is a sabotage tool capable of taking Brava's device. Okay, it sounds kind of cool, but I have no idea. I've never seen this person played, so this is to be determined. To be determined. But if it's anything like usual, the 10-year-olds, 12-year-olds who play the game who have the year pass are playing you during the first week that you came out, and you're just getting it's pretty bad. That's just kind of how that goes. Because the good players don't buy the pass because they've got enough renown and stuff saved up. So they're like, why would I want to waste my money on the pass? I'll just buy it after 7 days. It's the kids who don't play the game, don't have any renown, and spend it all on universal weapon skins. So they're playing you for the first 7 days, and you're absolutely terrible. But that's with every operator, so can't really be determined. So yeah, that is the video. Let me know if you agree or disagree with the stuff that I said. Obviously, everybody's going to have different experiences on every game. And, depending on who you play with, what rank you are, all that stuff, everything's going to be a little different. But this is just from my personal experience and from the experience of, like, my friends and stuff that I've seen. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. It's been a while since I posted. Been real busy with school, but finally on spring break. So I'm going to try and pump out a few videos this week. Anyway, I will see you guys next time. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll catch y'all later.